Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I am your host, Jesse Ewell, and today I have a very, very special guest. And this episode is going to be dedicated towards her. This is going to be all about dating our kids. But my special guest is my 9-year-old daughter, Julia. Say hi.
Hi.
So she's been bugging me for a few weeks. How long?
I'd say about maybe 2 to 3 weeks.
About getting on my podcast, and she wants to share a special message today. So thanks for being on here.
No.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, well, we'll start there then. We don't know. So I wanted to bring you on today to talk about your favorite things that you get to do with Dad. So let's get started. What is one of your favorite things to do with Dad?
Let's see. I like to hang out with him. We like to go out to dinner. We'll hang out, we'll I don't know. We'll have fun. We'll go to dinner. We'll have some fun. We'll go
Okay, so
fun
where's your
places.
favorite place to go out to dinner?
I think we actually went there yesterday. It's Red Robin.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, Red Robin is your favorite place for dinner.
Because their macaroni is so good.
Because their macaroni and cheese is the bomb to you, right?
Yeah, it's bomb.
Bomb diggity.
Bum, 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 bum.
So, your favorite thing to do is to go out to dinner to Red Robin. What are some other things that you like to do with Dad?
I like to... Let's see. I like to hang out with him, go places with him.
Yeah, can you be specific?
Let's see, like circus tricks.
Okay, Circus Tricks is like a trampoline park, kind of like trampoline park meets American Ninja Warrior, if you don't know what that is.
American Ninja Warrior for kids.
Yeah, so Circus Tricks is a place that we go and we get to jump around. What are some other places?
Let's see. We've gone to Dave & Buster's, Disneyland.
Dave & Buster's, Disneyland.
Yeah.
What else?
I always, whenever I'm on video, I always forget.
Okay, well, sometimes that happens. And you know what? Sometimes I forget too. So I'm going to give you a little exercise to do. Okay, because sometimes, when you think you're on camera, you kind of, don't remember quite as much. Is that kind of what's happening? Okay, so I'm going to give you a little exercise to just take a deep breath and breathe out.
Sorry.
Just pretend that camera up there
It's not on.
It's not on, and you are actually speaking to yourself.
That's a little weird, but okay.
Okay, so maybe you're just talking to one of your friends. So pretend that's one of your friends.
Okay, hi.
And you're looking in the camera, and it's just me and you having a normal conversation. How about that?
Okay.
So what are some things that you like to do? We see you got your cheerleading sweatshirt on, but what got you into cheerleading?
I think my cousin McKenna kind of gave me the idea of it, and she was a cheerleader.
So you kind of look up to her, and you're like, I think I want to do that too.
Yeah.
So what is it? So what your cousin McKenna is older. She just graduated high school, so she's someone you look up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so sometimes when we look up to people, we like to
do what they do.
Do what they've done or do what they do.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what happens with Mom and Dad also, is you watch things that we do, and then you do them.
I'm like, I want to do it.
Yeah, so what are some things you look up to Mom and Dad for?
I look up to Mom. I haven't quite gotten there yet, but I want to be as clean as her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mom's pretty clean, isn't she?
Yeah.
What are some other things that you look up to Mom for?
She's kind of like, I don't know how to say it. She's like my sibling in a way.
Oh, like you can trust her.
Yeah.
So you like how trusting Mom is.
Yeah.
And you can tell her anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, mom's pretty easy to talk to, isn't she?
Mhm.
So what are some other things you look up to mom about?
I look up to her because she's very kind, loving, sweet, and I just want to be just like her.
You want to be just like mom. Well, maybe we should have named you Katie Jr.
Mom Junior. Let's say Katie Junior.
Sometimes I think you think you're Mom Jr.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah. So what are some ways you look up to Dad?
I looked up to I look up to my dad because he's always he's like always how should I say this? He's always funny and always like when I'm sad, he's not just gonna be like, "Are you okay?" He's kind of like checking on me, making sure I'm fine, telling me to talk about it and stuff.
So you like how Dad tells you to or asks you to talk about what's wrong with you or
Yeah,
how you're
'cause
feeling?
I'm not saying Mom does this, and I'm not saying, but like when I talk about Dad to something, he's not just like, "Oh, okay." He's more of like, he's like, "Okay, tell me about like the full story and like what happened and stuff." And he kind of just tells me to explain it and how to get like how to not feel that way, or like when I'm scared. I remember I was rock climbing at Lifetime.
Oh yeah.
And I got scared because I was halfway there and I looked down and my dad was right there, and I just started getting scared and I stopped. I was like, Dad, I want to get down. But that's not how you face your fears. And my dad was like, you face your fears by keep on going, and he said what I always do is I stop and I take a breath, and then when I'm ready I keep going. But if you're not going to face your fear if you just stop, and I'm like, get down. And that's also happened with cheer. Let's see. I was scared of flying because we were doing a quarter turn up. So we started on that side low, and then we go up to prep. And I was scared to do it. And so I talked to my dad and my mom about it, and they're like, just try it and stuff. And so I talked to the coach, and she was like, oh, you don't have to do it this practice. And yeah.
So Dad kind of coaches you through times when you feel fear.
Yeah.
And you like that?
Yeah.
So what are some other things?
Oh no. I know what he's thinking. Okay, so we were on a trail once, and this guy came up to us, and he was like, watch out, there's a snake ahead on the mail trail. Ugh, I have lost my words today. But, and I just started getting a bunch of thoughts in my head and stuff like that. So I get a lot of thoughts in my head once I hear someone say it or something happens. And I don't just pass by and be like, oh, whatever, can we go on a different trail? I kind of get a lot of thoughts of like what ifs and stuff like that.
So you get a lot of worry.
Yeah.
And a lot of fear creeps in.
Yeah.
And anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you go to that place,
then it makes it worse.
And sometimes Dad does what?
He coaches me through. He's like, what are you scared of? And yeah.
And so we went hiking.
Yeah.
One time. And you got really scared.
Yes, I did. I screamed, I want to go back! The whole time we were on the rest of the hike.
Yeah,
and we weren't even on the main trail. And I said, we're on the main trail. I want to go back.
So what was the lesson you learned from that?
That don't be like, we went on the complete opposite trail. And when I was up there, and my dad was like, okay, fine, we'll turn around. And then once we turned around, I was like, oh, I want to keep going, but we just kept on walking back, and I wanted to keep going, but yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe the bigger lesson is just because someone else tells you something is ahead or like there's some fear ahead doesn't mean that we have to actually believe what that person says.
Yes, that is true.
And sometimes by us believing it without seeing it ourselves, it actually lets fear get in the way of us taking that step forward, or like that day was just taking the step forward towards the mountain.
Yeah.
And I hate snakes probably more than you do. So the last thing I want to do is come head to head with a snake.
So yeah.
That's right.
So yeah.
So what are some things that you don't like that Mom does?
I hate it when she comes in my room and, like, I want to be clean and stuff, but when my room's a mess, she comes in my room and starts grabbing stuff that's out of place and puts it on the floor.
Yeah, Mom doesn't tolerate having dirty stuff, or sometimes when you hide your wrappers or your dirty clothes in baskets.
Or clothes that's clean because I don't want to hang them up.
Right. What are some things you don't like that Dad does?
Well, it makes me better and stuff after it, but he, so, like the snake, he kept on just going and listening to me. He just kept on going.
And not really listening.
Yeah.
Which kind of drives you more crazy. And
when he's on his phone and I ask him something like, Dad, and he's just still staring. And I'm like, Dad. I keep going, Dad, 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 Dad.
Dad does a pretty good job of blocking you out sometimes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
When you're asking lots of questions. So there's lots of dad listeners out here and lots of mom listeners on this podcast.
Like Mommy?
Well, like other moms or other dads.
But does Mommy watch my podcast?
Of course, Mommy will watch this podcast. She'll probably be proud of you for saying all the things that you love about Mom. Okay? But what are some things that you would tell other parents about their kids and like dating them? How important that is?
It's really important because it's kind of, so when you're with, let's say when you have a sibling, because I have 2 siblings, you kind of after a while you get tired of them and stuff. And what helps is when your mom or your dad is like, "Oh, you want to go on a one-on-one date?" and you're like, "Really? Yay!" And it's really fun to kind of have one-on-one time, because when you're with a sibling, for instance, Jocelyn,
who's your younger sister, who's 3?
Yes, Jocelyn is 3, and let's say we wanted to go to K1 Speed, which is a place where you do, what is it called?
Go-karts.
Yeah, go-kart racing, and when you're with both your siblings, you can't go there because she's too little. But when you're with your older sibling, he can be a bit annoying.
That would
really
be your brother.
Annoying. Yeah.
So it's really important for you as the kid to have one-on-one time with me and Mom, to be able to do a date that you want to do that's just one-on-one, me and you. Kind of like right now. This is something you've really been looking forward to. And now that we're doing it, look how much fun we're having.
Yeah, and when you have one-on-one time with your parents, it makes you feel like you're just, like, you get so excited and stuff, and it's nice to have a break from your siblings and have one-on-one time and just kind of talk about things and stuff.
Yeah, so...
And you can go to, like, K1 Speed because...
You can go to a little bit older places than, having to take your little sister. So you get kind of a special treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
So what's a lesson that you could give parents today with their kids?
I think I could give... I'd say that you should always make sure, like, my parents, if I look sad, they don't just walk by and not say anything. They stop and they take time to ask me what's wrong and stuff like that. Or if I'm mad or anything, they won't just walk by. They'll come by and stuff. And also, I remember on Christmas Eve, we were running around everywhere and stuff. And I pulled aside my mom was noticing that I was feeling a little bit sad. And she's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I feel like you guys don't have enough time for me anymore, but that's not possible." And so she's like, "Oh yeah, you want to hang out and stuff? You can read a book that we were going to read tonight. Do you want to read The Night Before Christmas?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And that just made me feel much better and stuff. And yeah, one-on-one time is really fun and stuff. And when you get to do stuff that you've wanted to do.
So one-on-one time's really important. And then also your parents checking in with you just to see how you're doing, if you have other siblings, and just making you feel like you're important is really important also.
Mhm.
Okay. Is there anything you have out there for the kids? Any lessons for the kids?
Just have fun and be kind and yeah.
Okay, have fun and be
And
kind.
tell your parents if you're feeling sad or mad or happy, not happy, but like sad, mad.
If you feel alone, how about that?
Yeah, or scared.
Yeah. So instead of hiding or holding all those things in,
You could get them out.
yeah, you can get them out by what? What are some ways that you get them out?
My dad tells me to write down stuff to kind of get them out. And when I think of them again, I can just look at the paper and just remember. It's fine, yeah.
It's just in your head.
Yeah, it's just stories in your head.
And you want to get the stories out of your head before you go to bed.
Yeah, because before I go to bed, I always get thoughts of like, what if this, what if that, what if that.
Yeah, we kind of had that a couple weeks ago when we had the earthquake, right? You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And, you worked on it and it
Helped me.
It helped you. Maybe not so much the first night, but definitely the second night. But, you want to learn to get the stories out of your head, whether you're, 9 years old or 41 years old. You want to get the stories out of your head before you go to bed because if they're out of your head, then you sleep much better, right?
Yes.
Instead of worrying about that stuff all night. Okay, so that's it for your first podcast. I'd say you did pretty awesome. Was that fun?
Yes, really fun. I want to do it again.
Is there any questions you want to ask me?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Wait, I have one question.
Okay.
When will this be posted?
It'll be posted, and when it gets posted, probably in about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
And also, what was I gonna say?
Okay, so thank you for being on here.
Oh, I know.
What?
Can I do another podcast with you?
Yeah, we'll see if, we can make this a regular thing. So high five for the podcast. Okay, so thank you for being on here. Thank you for listening. And if you are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group, where I will be dropping daily habits to help you live to your full potential. If you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle, maybe you have some questions, comments, or requests, or maybe you want to request my daughter Julie on here another episode, feel free to reach out to me, Jesse at habitbasedlifestyle.com. Also coming up in September, we have our marriage boot camp here in Dana Point, California. We are only taking 5 couples on this experience, and we already have 2 spots filled up, so we have 3 spots left. If you are looking to be one of the next people, email me, Jesse at habitbasedlifestyle.com, and apply to the marriage boot camp, which is in the show notes, and you can simply click on the link and find out then the exact dates. Until next episode, have an awesome day.